Welcome to the Mizzle and Dove Show.
A very late night edition of the Mizzle and Dub Show.
Yes. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, that beat is brought to you by one DeAndre Mason, his son, my nephew. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have a super dope beat maker on our hands.
AKA Zordok Sama.
Sounds like some Voltron shit, I must say.
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, close enough. Well, it started even at 2 games apiece, and it was a pivotal Game 5 that took place tonight at the big ATM known as the Chase Center in San Francisco, California. But at the end of the day, the Golden State Warriors took a 3-2 lead over the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals, winning it 104-94. And thus, they stand 48 minutes away from winning their 7th overall title, which, by the way, would put them 3rd all-time behind the Celtics and Lakers for most later buy-ins in the association.
Yes.
They still stand tied with the Bulls at 6. But this win, if they should win, would give them number 7. And of course, in the Steve Kerr era, it would give them their 4th. And for Steph, his 4th, which would put him tied with one LeBron James.
Which I still think he's better than LeBron James, but it's a different subject for a different day.
As you said, it was a tale of 2 halves.
Mm-hmm.
And it was tremendous defense by the Warriors in the first half, holding the Celtics to 39 points and just tremendous, horrific shooting. But something we said that was going to happen, and we wasn't surprised that it was happen, in the early stages of Game 5, Draymond Green heard all the critics, took all the criticism, rightfully so. Even Mama Green came out saying, "I don't know what's happened to my son because this ain't him." Well, in the early part of the game, Draymond Green established his presence in the early goings of Game 5, and despite the fact that he fouled out, he was on his way to messing around and getting a triple-double. But
which Irvin Magic Johnson said he would get one.
Yes, he did. Well, I mean, of course, that's fellow Spartan to fellow Spartan.
Of course, yeah.
Because they're both East Lansing boys.
Michigan State sticks together.
Exactly.
Wait.
Through thick and thin.
Klay Thompson had a quiet 21 points yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
Wow. The biggest picture of the game, too, I want to throw in some of that, is the bench points. Boston had 10 points off the bench. Your Golden State Warriors had 31.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
With Gary Payne II having a quiet 15 to lead the bench, to which...
Didn't even see it.
No.
Didn't see it.
You didn't see it coming. But as the story in Game 4 was simply about one Wardell Stephen Curry III, Game 5 will forever be known to Dubs fans as the Andrew Wiggins game, as Andrew Wiggins makes his case to perhaps be the finals MVP with a 2nd consecutive double-double, but he led the way. He was the leading scorer for the Warriors, as the game high was 27 by Jason Tatum. But Andrew Wiggins, 26 big ones. But in addition to that, he would also add 13 rebounds. And just huge rebounds. But more importantly than that, him and Klay Thompson on the perimeter defending, making life miserable, as Boston shot horrible in the 4th quarter. Now,
which is that's their quarter.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Let's not make no mistakes. The 4th quarter, Boston eats.
Yes.
They live for the 4th quarter.
Yes. If you've been watching this series closely, 3rd quarter has always belonged to the Warriors. 4th quarter has belonged to the Celtics, with the exception of Game 4. Yeah. With that said, Boston shot 41% from the floor. Warriors shot 46. If you were to tell me that the Golden State Warriors were going to shoot 9 of 40 from 3-point range, and Curry was going to go 0 for 9
They lose. They lose.
Yes.
But as we just said, Andrew Wiggins did a Steph Curry. He just told Steph, hold my beer.
My
The team is
Canadian
on my
bear
back
that.
tonight. But Klay Thompson said it even in the press conference after Game 4 when they asked him about the performance of Curry. The one thing he just said was afterwards is we have to give him some help. The man performed outstanding. Curry was exhausted. I don't care if it was a day off, but he still had to fly back from Boston, back into San Francisco, rest, find, be a dad, and all that stuff like that. He was exhausted. So I'm not too mad at Steph's game, but just think, he ain't gonna go 0 for the next game.
Oh no.
I guarantee you it won't be an 0 for the next game.
Well, like Draymond said in the presser, Steph's gonna be hot about shooting 0 for 9. So don't be surprised if he shoots the roof off the garden in the parquet floor.
13 of them? 13?
Hell, he might hit 23s with the way he might be feeling.
Hell, you know what? The Larry O'Brien's gonna be in the building, right?
It is.
If Curry has that same demeanor that he had in the first quarter of Game 4, where he just made a 3 to put him up and he was barking at the fans that early, you might as well just crown him. Just go ahead. Just go ahead and get the champagne in the locker room. Put the Larry O'Brien on the sideline. All Boston fans leave because you do not want to see the Warriors getting that title on your home court. But
not only that, to have perhaps the greatest Boston Celtic of all time, the greatest winner of all time, Mr. Russell.
Talk to him.
Having to hand the MVP trophy that bears his name to one Wardell Stephen Curry in the house that Paul Pierce built. We can say the Fleet Center TD Garden is Paul Pierce's house without question.
Brother.
But I'm just saying, how poetic would it be if the Warriors do clinch in Boston, Massachusetts? Because this has been yours and mine's philosophy for many, many years.
Oh, for 5 years we wanted this final.
That too, but we've always said that even in baseball, we always said you want to beat the Yankees to win the World Series because they're the standard bearer because they have 27 banners.
They're the best. You always want to be the best, no matter what. You always want to be the best.
Like in the NHL, you want to beat the Montreal Canadiens because they have 24 Stanley Cups. Okay, yeah, 24. Lord Stanley's Cup, they have 24 of them. Yes, they do. The Habs have 24 Stanley Cups. Right now, in the NFL, it's the Steelers and the Patriots. They have the most Lombardis with 6. If you're a team from the NFC. Now, if you're a team from the AFC, you want to beat them to get there to get your own Lombardi trophy. But
I don't even know why we brought the Patriots in this conversation.
They have, I'm just going off the most championships in each sport.
If we can take a commercial break, I will go tell you to rinse your mouth out with soap. Y'all better be glad we ain't got commercial breaks in this bad boy because we don't do commercials around here.
and the same goes in the NBA.
Yeah.
If you're from the Eastern Conference,
yeah,
want to beat the Lakers because they have 18 banners. Yeah. If you're playing from the Western Conference and you're playing the Boston Celtics, you want to beat them because they have 17 Larry O'Brien trophies. They each have 17.
Right, upper echelon.
So,
I could even go as far as back when the year Florida State won their national title with Famous. Who did I want? I wanted Nick Saban.
You wanted Alabama
because they are the pinnacle.
The standard bearer.
You beat Alabama. I mean, yes, I want the title. I'm glad we got the title, but I wanted Nick. I wanted because that made it more sweeter.
Well, yeah. you know how I felt when my Bulldogs finally got through because that was the one thing, the one team, the one coach that just kept denying them the chance to finally win the national title.
And what did I sing to you? Oh, happy.
But I mean, that's just how it is. Whenever you get to the final championship stage,
you always want to be the best.
You want to be the team that has the most championships because you want to add that to your resume.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, for the Golden State Warriors, as previously mentioned, if they are to win and deny Boston a chance to get their 18th banner, again, that will put them as the third greatest franchise in the NBA to win titles. That will put them at 7, which they're currently tied with the Bulls with 6.
All MJ. Ain't that something?
Yeah, all of it by Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Yeah.
Got them. All 6 of them things. Wasn't messing around.
No.
Well, we can honestly say, the 4 that the Warriors got. So I guess we can't say that, put that in the category because Jordan got all 6 for his franchise.
Correct.
So it was 2 before Clay and everybody else got there. So that would be kind of hard to say that all theirs. But Jordan can literally say, if it wasn't for me, y'all wouldn't have 6 titles.
But I mean, of course, the times are different. But I mean, for this case, I mean, you look at the core. I mean, Dre, Steph, and Clay are homegrown. And then you got some more homegrown guys. Hopefully, Wiseman's knee situation, to which he's supposed to be starting. Supposedly, he's going to be playing in Summer League this year in Vegas to get himself back into shape. But I mean,
really put some weight on Jonathan Kuminga. Put some weight on him. Not too much, a little bit more, because for number one, the man can jump out of a gym. Okay. I mean, there's no problem with that. The man has physical abilities to do things that are ridiculous. But put a little more weight on him, bulk him up, he'd be down low banging. Banging.
Him and Wiseman could be a front court issue for many years to come in the Bay if they both can stay healthy and be durable. A front court of him, Kuminga, and Wiggins.
Stop.
Whenever Draymond decides to hang it up.
Stop it. We're not giving out the blueprint already. Stop it. No. That is too much firepower for these people to understand. That's too much.
But to harp back on game 5, first and foremost.
We got see people we get off, we get the rambling.
But back to game 5. First off, and again, I posted this earlier, when Boston made their run to start the third quarter of the second half, I just kept saying, Boston just will not die. They just won't die. They don't quit for anything. They will go till they run out of ammo. And that's just a credit to Ime Udoka, who has been a tremendous coach.
Excellent coach.
He's been fabulous.
Brad Stevens did a good job with that one.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Which it's still shocking for me that he's not the one coaching, because Brad Stevens is a damn good head coach.
We said that when he was in college.
Yes.
We said, if he gets an NBA job, that team that he's going to build is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the four Eastern Conference Finals with Brad?
I know 2 for sure.
If it wasn't for LeBron, he might have been in the finals. We might have got our Warrior Celtics finals that we wanted a couple of years past. Yeah. So, but yeah, just a tremendous basketball IQ in mind. Oh my goodness. What, Butler? Was it Butler he was at?
It was Butler. Yes, it was. Who came very, very close to winning the national title, because that half-court shot almost banked in.
Oh, baby.
And of course, Carolina fans really would have been showing the Coach K memes, which they showed him anyway, because, again, you guys denied them getting to the national title game. So
that was my title game. I wanted a new shirt. Don't get me wrong. I need a new shirt. I got the old one when they won it, but the credit card was ready. But as I said in my post afterwards, I said it was a tough loss, but hey, sure didn't keep them Dookies from winning. I don't care. Hey, this is my show. I say what I want. Fuck Duke.
And he says that with passion, folks. But it's just, Boston's going to bring everything they can for Game 6.
Not just the players, the fans are going to bring it too.
Oh, they are. You know they are. It's going to be raucous. It's going to have that sound of the original Boston Garden on the parquet floor.
And I hope that referee ain't reffing where Boston has a perfect record. I hope he ain't reffing because was it Scott Foster?
Scott Foster, yes.
I wish I had the remember the Bud Light commercial, the football commercial where the referee was messing up and they put the number right on the screen. I sure wish I could do that for Scott Foster right now. I mean, like I said the other show, I don't want to be that guy, but the proof is right there. The Celtics are undefeated when he refs. And the games are horribly called. Just saying.
It's like Joey Crawford refereeing the Spurs.
Stop it.
But where's the lie?
What's the gif?
No lies detected. I mean, come on now. Okay, you're gonna throw out Tim Duncan because he's laughing on the bench. You're going to throw out one of the greatest fundamentally sound basketball players ever to play this game.
Here's the question I have for you on top of that. Can you count on one hand how many times Tim Duncan has either got a technical or thrown out of a game?
I can only come up with one scenario. And Joey Crawford was the doggone referee. I'm like, he's sitting on the bench laughing. He's not even talking to you or about you. But because you want to get in your feelings, Joey Crawford, it's almost like Billy Crystal in that dang basketball movie where he's playing a ref and he throws out Kareem in his farewell game. And Kareem's just trying to ask questions. That's what it felt like to me seeing Joey Crawford just do that. I'm just like, that's how we feel, Joey? Really? I mean, and I was talking to a Celtics fan, and she was talking about, the association is about money, and you and I both know this. And again, just like you've said it more than once, Sunday is Father's Day. What do men want to do? Have their beer and drink sports. Very simple.
So, do I see Boston winning Game 6? Yes, I do. Now, am I shocked? Would I be shocked if the Warriors win Game 6? No, we've seen it before. We've seen this scenario. They've done it to Cleveland. They've done it in most series that they've been in.
2 of the 3 titles that they've clinched, they have clinched on the road.
So I wouldn't be shocked, but do I think the NBA wants to milk this and extend it because it's the longer it goes, the more money they make, and of course. And would Game 7 be the most watched ratings finals? Yes. It's Father's Day.
And that's the one thing I really don't like about the NBA, and that's one reason why they sometimes really lose me as a fan, is because it's like, don't let the sports book and the NBA offices and
Vegas,
the refs and all that, let the players decide the doggone game. Let them decide, because they put in the work to get there.
Facts. Well, because my gut is telling me, they're going to have Scott Foster referee Game 6. You just know it. And that's something I don't want to say as a. Even if the Warriors were not playing in the finals, yes,
I would say the same thing.
I agree. Because we just want fair. We want a good, if they getting blown out by 20, hey, let the 20 blowout happen.
Let it happen.
Keep the damn whistle out your mouth. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to say it tonight, but there was a few calls in this tonight's game. I was like, where's the foul? What's going on here? I mean, you mean to tell me, like we already said, the 2-time MVP, 3-time champion,
First ever unanimous MVP at that.
Whoa. See, now I didn't want to go there, but knowledge. But yeah.
He can't get a call.
He
can't get a call, but let somebody flop 2,000 dozen times.
Words right out of my mouth. And I was going to even say with Gary Payton and Jordan Poole, those were flops like
those were flops.
Oh my goodness.
Vlade Divac taught them well.
He clapping somewhere. He's watching that clapping somewhere.
Yes. Vlade's like 5, 6, 7, 8. That dang NBA commercial. Him dancing with Chris Webber. Yeah, I went there. But yeah, I always say it's the Vlade and I love Vlade. Vlade was fun, a tremendous personality. I love Vlade, but they went to the Vlade Divac school of training. I'm just flopping. They went to flopping school, and LeBron became flopping emeritus. Yes, I went there.
He's showing the academy for his flops. Even when his own teammates hit him, he flops. Here or there. But Boston's going to bring their A++ game.
Oh, you know they are. You know they are. You know they are.
They're going to feed off the crowd, of course, just like how the Warriors do. I can totally see that. But here's one thing that I can say. You do your best to lock down Tatum, but if you can control Smart, Brown, and that old SOB that I can't stand, even though he signed with my secondary team, my other team, Al Horford just needs to retire. I'm sick of Al Horford. I am just done with him. Just go away. Now, if they can contain that.
Well, yeah. Here's one thing the Warriors have to do is you cannot let Boston have so many wide open looks behind the 3-point line. Now, fortunately for them, Boston missed a lot of them. But in game 6, when their life is on the line and you leave them open, it might become a 3-point party shooting fest because, I mean, Brown had open looks, Smart had open looks, Pritchard had open looks, Williams had open looks. I mean, if some of those go in,
right,
we're talking a whole different ball game.
Yeah, and I got to talk about that. And I'm really going to talk about that. But also, what I'm concerned about is Boston. When Boston gets on that run, can the Warriors at least keep it within distance in the league? Because Boston gets on hot runs, and they've been in this situation before facing elimination. I believe they beat the Bucks twice, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, and they have to beat the Dubs twice. So, I hope they're taking this road trip very serious. I hope after this they relax, do what they have to do, and get in that championship pedigree mode because they've been here. But I'm not worried. They've been here before. You know, the one loss that they took in the finals that hurt me the most, I would have to say, was the Cleveland win. Just Kawhi Leonard was just going to will Toronto to that win, and there was no way that I can see. Even if it wasn't the Warriors that played Toronto that year, I believe anybody that played Toronto that year, Toronto was going to win. And that started with the damn shot in Toronto that made me cry.
Sometimes all you need is a lucky bounce, and boy, that was one lucky bounce. But
I mean, when you had time to look at it, don't bring up the memories. Okay, yeah, back to.
But I mean, even to go back to that, everybody wants to say Kawhi Leonard did it by himself. He'll get most of the credit, but Siakam was a problem. He was a force in that series. And it just seemed like whenever the Warriors made a run, it just always seemed like Fred VanVleet would just throw up a prayer, and by God, it was answered. It was like the bank was open.
My face. You really got me to go in my face with that. You know I don't like Siakam. You know I don't. You gonna bring him on the show?
Man, you can't take away how big of a force he was in that series.
I mean, I know the saying you give credit is due, but I can't stand that dude.
Hey.
But you're right. Yeah, he did that his whole playoff series is what Wiggins is doing right now.
Correct. And the thing about it is, even when Boston was making the run that they were making in the third quarter, which they outscored the Warriors 35-24.
That's the first.
Exactly. But even with that, Boston would be up no bigger than 4 points. The Warriors found a way to, as you would say, play through the storm and keep it close. And then the pool party, the bank was open. And it basically just calmed the waters down, because I'm not gonna say that mess with Boston's psyche after pool for the second time in the finals hits one from the Embarcadero. But it just seemed like whatever momentum Boston had, Pool's shot gave it right back to the Warriors, and that's when the Warriors basically took control in the fourth quarter. Clay gets going, hits a couple of big shots, and then there's another timeout, and then just Andrew Wiggins just took the game over in the fourth quarter and just said, "I'm coming down the lane, get out of my way. Ask Luka Doncic how he feels about being a poster."
My goodness. What I told a coworker at work last night is that he's playing like a number one overall pick should be playing. But here's the thing. I don't think he was coached right where he was at. Even though you saw flashes.
You saw the promise.
The potential of what he can be. And now he got in the right situation. I mean, Kerr could have been somewhere else coaching, and he could have probably ended up being with Kerr in a certain situation, but I got to be a homer. I'm sorry. But he's flourishing. You see it. His defense, let's just forget about his offense. I just want to talk about his defense for just a little bit. I mean, clamping down Tatum. I mean, Tatum still got his, but if you really look at the numbers, when
he shot 10 of 20, which, I mean, technically, yes, it's 50%, but I mean, he was making Tatum force up some tough shots.
That's where I was going to get at. It was more of that. It wasn't easy for Tatum when Wiggins was guarding him. And if you look up the percent, I should have looked it up because I knew I was going to say it. But when Wiggins is guarding Tatum ain't as productive as he is when someone else is guarding him. So, and just not only the defense, but he's grabbing the rebounds.
Yes. and the funny thing,
our rebound machines right now.
And the funny thing about that is, Boston out-rebounded the Warriors tonight, 47-39.
Yeah.
But the key was the points in the paint were 2-1 by the Warriors. The Warriors had 50 points in the paint to Boston's 36.
Oh.
But also, here's the main reason why the Warriors won the game tonight. And we've always said the biggest problem under Steve Kerr for the Warriors has always been turnovers. They only had 7 in game 5.
Wow.
7. Boston had 16.
That's see. And watching NBA TV on ESPN, Windhorst, is it Windhorst? Is that his name?
Brian Windhorst.
If I'm saying his name right? Okay.
Brian Windhorst.
Yeah. He preaches. This has been his thing with Boston. He says, when they turn the ball over 15 times plus, they lose. It's it's statistically shown that when they turn the ball over too much, they lose. And so you can't do that. And I count those turnovers to good defense, though. It wasn't like it was sloppy passing the ball. It was a few of those, but it was mainly defense.
Well, yeah, the Warriors clogging the lane, intercepting the pass, which, leads them into transition. But also, to point that out, Boston is not hitting their free throws, which is also another reason why they lost. They were 21 of 31 from the foul line. Warriors were 13 of 15 from the foul line. And like I've always said, and I've been saying this for years, if you don't hit your free throws, you don't deserve to win.
Well, let me piggyback off what you said, and I'm gonna quote the great Rasheed Wallace.
Ball don't lie.
some of those fouls that were called, they went to the free throw line, they were missing them. I just kept saying when we were watching the game, hey, ball don't lie. Rasheed Wallace told everybody in the world, the ball don't lie. So
and he also said, both teams played hard. Both teams played hard. Rasheed Wallace, some of the greatest sound bites in NBA history. Of course, my favorite is, they will not win game 2. They will not win game 2. And by God, they did not win game 2 because the Pistons did. But I'll say that.
Is that the championship year they beat the Lakers?
That was the year they won the title. It was the Eastern Conference Finals against Indiana. Indiana won game 1, and Rasheed comes on and says, they will not win game 2.
And they went off, and they often did the, what we say, Doug? It's only one thing else left to do.
To win the whole fucking thing.
There it is.
But on a side note, if anything, not to get off the subject of game 5, but if anything, Rasheed Wallace, if they listen, should make Anthony Davis a lot tougher, him being on that coaching staff.
Oh, well, the whole squad, from down to the point guard, gonna be tough. Rasheed Wallace was a menace. I mean, physical. Played the game perfect, though. Perfect. Back in that era, see, he couldn't play that style now because Rasheed Wallace will probably be more, him and Draymond Green will probably be going neck and neck for the most technicals in kicked out the games.
Yeah. But you want to talk about a low post mid-range game? Oh, Rasheed. Rasheed. Oh my goodness.
If you didn't stop it, he was getting there. If he found this spot, forget it.
It was over. And like I said, the 04 Pistons do not win that title without Rasheed Wallace.
No.
Hands down. Joe Dumars made that mid-season trade, and it paid huge dividends for the Pistons. And all I'm saying is, if AD doesn't, tear his soft and Sherman brittle body up, Rasheed Wallace will make that man a force if he chooses to obtain and soak in the knowledge that Sheed has to offer.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's a big addition for Darvin Ham to his staff, because they were teammates on that 04 Pistons team that won the title. Now, with that said, if you're Steve Kerr, going into game 6, do you stick to the same game plan you have used the last 3 games, which is have Looney come off the bench and have Otto Porter start in the starting lineup?
You know what? I kind of like what, I don't question Steve Kerr often, because we know we in Kerr we trust, but I kind of do like that. You give Otto Porter a little run, get the legs going, get him in tune, and then you can bring Looney in with the seconds for a minute, and then you blend them in back into the starting 5 rotation. So I do kind of like that. It worked. It worked tonight because, of course, the Warriors got off to a huge start with that lineup. So, excuse me. I mean, you know the saying, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. So I would agree to let that ride. Just get a feel for it. Now if it gets out of hand, then let's get Looney up in there. Let's get let's get this in order. But if it's working, I'm gonna have to quote your former coach, who's now the coach of Michigan, at the time when he was having a quarterback controversy. Just ride the
hot hand. Go the hot hand.
Yeah.
Well, Game 6 will be on Thursday, and normally when it's Game 6, you know what that means.
Oh, there's the guy by the number of
Double snake eyes
who shows up in
Game 6s.
His name
is Clay. Because his mama called him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
And so quote that from Coming to America.
I'm just saying, normally when Game 6 arrives, normally Clay Thompson arrives and shows up and says, "Hi, I'm here.
Did you forget about me?
This is my dog Rocco."
Yeah, but did you forget about me? Oh,
yeah,
you might have forgot about me because I was down there guarding your best player and shutting him down. But if you think I couldn't score, oh, hello. My name is Clay Thompson, and I like.
I'm just saying. Yes, I expect Boston to come out and play desperation basketball, but normally, when you see the words Game 6, that is normally Clay Thompson's time to shine. I'll just say this: the man was still willing to play the game on a torn ACL.
You know, but
did not want to come out.
Before we talk about what Clay did, there was a person who did that and he went out the game. But before he went out that game, he got up at his own power. He walked to that free throw line. He shot that free throw. And then he walked to the locker room without help. And I'm just going to say his name. And the only person, at the time when he was playing, I respected his game, is when he had the fro, Kobe Bean motherfucking Bryant. What a warrior. What a basketball player. I mean, to just know that and just walk. I mean, no, get off me. I don't know. No, I'm just going to do this. I know I'm hurt. I'm going to finish this business and I'm going to go to the locker room. And y'all go ahead and go about.
Because normally, when you tear your Achilles, you normally cannot walk.
You get the cart. Football players get carts. Bring the John Deere. Come get me. These two men literally willed themselves. And
hit their free throws.
They're, man, rest in peace to the mama, man. Hey. Basketball, he would have been a coach in some. Kobe probably would have coached the Lakers right now. He'd have probably been sick on the sideline watching. He'd have been like, you know what?
Soft. Soft. Here comes the meme right now. Soft.
Hey, shout out to the mama, man. Hey, rest in peace, man. I hope you up there, man. God called her home a real one too early. he must got a plan for Kobe. He must got a plan for Kobe up there.
Not just that, what he was doing for the girls' game.
Yeah, and no disrespect to everybody else on that flight, though. No, we ain't taking away from them at all. But yeah, Kobe was about to change some stuff, man. He was about to. His mind for off the court stuff and what he was doing for little girls basketball and the women. And
the man won an Oscar. The man won an Oscar.
We talking about an Oscar, man.
An Oscar.
Not a Grammy.
Not a Grammy.
No, not an MTV award.
Not an American Music Award. Not a BET Award. Not a Soul Train Award. From the Motion Picture Academy of Science and Film. Man won an Oscar.
Stop it. You're going to give me tears talking about this, man. It hurt me that day. I don't want to relive it, but just to wake up and my routine, when I wake up,
Well, like I said, I was at church and I'm like, are you messing with me right now?
No. When I said, yeah, because I sent it to you. Right. And that's what you exactly wrote back to me. And I'm sitting there, no. And then once I read it from these three letters, TMZ, that's TMZ don't put nothing out there false, man. If they do, they will retract their statement. But they're in 90 percentile and top information.
And then all of a sudden, a friend of the show's, shout out to Big Brian Sullivan, calls me. I mean, obviously I can't answer because obviously I'm at church. But he's like, tell me I am dreaming. Tell me I'm not reading this. And I'm like, I really don't want to be the very bad news. But all I can say is I was privileged to see the man live 3 times.
Yeah. I think I saw him once.
And unfortunately, in one of those games, he torched our beloved Warriors for 40 points.
Not surprised.
No, because he made a living out of torching the Warriors his whole damn career.
Man.
But
not only them, the Kings.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah. But regardless, back to game 6. Yes. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if game 6 Clay be game 6 Clay. Because Curry is going to have extra motivation because he's not going to have another game where he goes 0 for 9.
Oh, wait, hold on, wait. Let's go back. Excuse me. Let's go back to a game where Curry had a triple-double and he, quote, went on stage and said, I played a horrible game of basketball.
And he got a triple-double. Messed around and got a triple-double and basically said, I played like crap.
Okay, so if you think he said that and now 0 for 9 for 3, man, he might shoot that ball from New England.
He might shoot that from Boston Harbor.
Hey, it might be raining in Boston Thursday. It literally could be. And don't let Poole get excited oh, y'all shooting threes?
He might shoot that from Paul Revere's statue.
Stop it. You literally stop it. You didn't make me I didn't told you to stop it multiple times on the show. Stop it.
Well, I mean, heck, I could say Curry might shoot it from Worcester.
Yeah, whoa. Finally.
Oh my.
But I want to give a great shout out to Andrew Wiggins, man. Just I know we didn't talk a lot about him, but just seeing him involved around with this organization and with the squad.
Well, you heard what Steve Kerr said. We're not here without Andrew Wiggins, and he wanted to make that a very clear and as simple as it could possibly be. He says, we're not here without Andrew Wiggins. And I know a lot of the fan base and a lot of me were like, was it worth making this trade? Was it worth all that? I'll say, damn it, yes, it was. Because
I said it once we got he's in the right spot. You saw the flashes. You saw what he could do when he was in Minnesota. And it's like, okay. The only question that everybody had was, can he mesh with Clay when Clay comes back? Because that's the reason why the trade happened, is because Clay was hurt. It was like, when Clay gets healthy, does Wiggins go or does Wiggins stay? Well, I was like, well, they better keep him. And well, now,
because it was like, who are you gonna try to get him? Or who are you gonna try and get? But I give Joe Lacob and Bob Myers sticking to their guns because
we never question the upper management. That's never been the issue. We always been behind theirs.
a lot of people, a lot of fans were like, why did the Warriors not go out and sign somebody? And they're like, we believe in our young players that we have. They believe in Wiseman.
The core is nice.
They believe in Kuminga. They believe in Moody. So, again, like I said, I don't question, just like you know, I don't question Joe Lacob's motives because Joe Lacob by any means wants to win.
And
He hates losing.
What luxury tax? What's that?
Yeah.
That word? I don't. And I love the quote what Bob Myers said. It's like, it's not like we're going out spending the money to bring in the talent. We're spending the money to keep our homegrown talent. So why? Well, what's the question about what we're doing to keep what we drafted? I'm not letting that go. I mean, they even broke the bank trying to keep Kevin Durant. So why not? If it's working for us, don't get mad that because we're doing it and we're winning championships, step up.
Or you just draft the right pieces and not pass up on talent.
I mean, it's not like they're going out trying to sign everybody. Like, they're spending the money on the homegrown talent.
Not just that, they're bringing in key character guys that'll fit the scheme also. Because as you always say, you always want to sign people that want to come to your organization to win.
Been saying that for years, bro.
That's just the bottom line. But Thursday night should be a whale and a heck of a game because you know Boston's going to do everything they can to force another flight back to San Francisco. And the Warriors, which I know in the past, sometimes they've come into games laxed when they have a lead and have the chance to clinch a series. If you're Steve Kerr, you cannot have them come out flat in Game 6 because you know Boston is going to try to go out for the knockout kill early and try to guarantee a Game 7. So for the Warriors, you got to come in focus. You got to come in all cylinders. You got to be prepared because Boston is literally going to throw everything at you. With that said, I really think there might be a moment in Game 6 to where playoff Iggy might make an appearance. I'm just saying. This type of game just has a feel for Andre Iguodala to do something big. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if that happens.
So can I ask you a question on top of what you just said?
Go ahead.
Are you picking the Warriors in 6?
That's been my original pick before the series started.
That was mine too. That's all. I'm still going
to stick with it. But even though my gut feels how your gut feels, because it's something that the NBA would do, but my original prediction was Warriors in 6. I'm still gonna, stick to that and honor that. I mean, even today, before tip-off, they still had 51% having Boston still winning to the Warriors 29%. I'm like, the series is tied. What are you not seeing? It's like it's like the judges in boxing. What fight are you watching?
Right. But hasn't the Warriors always been the underdogs in every final they've been in?
With the exception of one. The last one they were in, 2019.
Okay. But they don't think because Boston is, I don't know what it seems like always the Eastern Conference teams that the Warriors went up against, except that one year you were talking. Well, you know what? They've counted out the Bay Area in every, except the one, championship. The Giants were not supposed to win none of the 3 they won.
None.
even after performances that they did, they still did not predict the Giants to win nothing. And you know what was bittersweet before we get back to the basketball is when they swept the Tigers, because they wasn't supposed to win that series at all. But guess what? We're not supposed to win. Hold my keg, because we're just gonna sweep you.
Give me the broom. Give me the broom.
And by the way, I think that Pablo the Panda hit like 3 of them things in one game to go into the
2 of them off of future Hall of Famer and Justin Verlander. One of them being opposite field, and you can read Verlander's lips saying, wow.
But they were underdogs.
Yes, they were. But I digress.
What do we know? So I literally think the Warriors will go into this game and just shoot the gym out, because like you said, it's Klay time. Klay just been, he's on the ocean, but he just showed you a little bit by pulling out 21 in the end. So will I be shocked if it goes to Game 7 on Father's Day? No. Will I be shocked if the Warriors win Thursday? Not at all. Will I be at work? Will I be at work when it says 000 and I'm on the phone with you like we always have been in any of the championships that our teams have been in?
He'll be like, I got my card ready.
I do.
He's like, the card is ready. It's like, damn it, are we going to NBAstore.com? Like, give me one now.
Wait, I might get the whole shebang.
Uh-oh.
Hat, hoodie, t-shirt.
Oh boy. He's going for the hat trick.
The gusto. Yes.
Now, switching over to one sport real quick.
Okay. Our final word. I love it.
Before we get out of here, have to give some kudos and have to give a shout out to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh,
3rd consecutive trip to the Stanley Cup Finals. And I mean,
what organization. What a well-ran organization, because it's hard to get to at least one in hockey. I mean, any sport will say it's hard to get to a championship, but it's hard in hockey.
Yes, it is.
It's real. It's brutal. But to get to
3 consecutive, and a chance to go for a three-peat, and not to mention, the New York Rangers gave them hell.
Everything.
I mean, the Rangers at one point were up 2-1, and some people thought, is this the? I mean, heck, even in round 1 against Toronto, when they were trailing against the Maple Leafs, they're like, is this the end? But I mean, it's just tremendous fortitude. I mean, just like the Warriors, the Lightning have that pedigree. And again, as Ric Flair said so many times in his promos, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. And I think the Lightning and Avalanche is going to be a very intriguing Stanley Cup final. I mean, you got the Avalanche, haven't been there in 21 years.
Yeah.
Looking to win their 3rd cup. Obviously, the Lightning trying to keep Stanley Cup in Tampa Bay, Florida for another season, to which, again, and not many people know this, the last team to three-peat as Stanley Cup champions is still the New York Islanders of the 80s that won 4 straight from 1980 to 84. Like, the closest you've had, teams going back-to-back, you had Mario Lemieux and his Penguins. They won back-to-back, obviously. You had...
Who else was with Mario Lemieux on that squad? It was
Jaromir Jagr.
Yeah, my dude. My dude.
Jaromir Jagr.
Yes.
Yeah, 68 and 66 gave a lot of folks trouble with those Penguin teams. But you had them that went back-to-back. You had the Sergei Fedorov, Steve Yzerman Red Wings teams that went back-to-back.
Who's my favorite hockey player next to Teemu Solani?
Sergei Fedorov.
Damn right.
Sergei.
That man was fast on the ice.
Yes, he was. Yes,
Cold.
he was.
Cold. Yeah.
I just never understood throwing the dang octopus on the ice when they scored a goal. But hey, that's one of the great traditions of hockey town in Detroit, Michigan.
There it is.
They went back to back. Sid the Kid and the Penguins went back to back.
Yes.
So it's very hard to go back to back trying to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
But for the Lightning to just get there for a third consecutive try and even have the chance to even three-peat,
yeah,
is just is kudos to them.
Yeah.
And I want to pick the Avalanche to win the cup because they've been pretty much one of the best teams all year. But
their goalie is
yes, it's gonna. I think this series is going to come down to the goalies. It really is, but it's just
pay attention to this one. I've been keeping my eye on it, but I think I am really going to sit and really try to pay attention to this finals this year. It's going to be good, real good.
I definitely will think it will go 6 or 7. It's just and I mean I'm leaning towards picking the Avalanche. I really am, but it is hard not to go with the Lightning because
they've been there.
This core has been there the last 3 years. They know what it takes.
Yep.
I mean, if the Avalanche happen to knock them off, God bless them. They earned it. They deserved it. But I mean, if Tampa Bay three-peats, you might have to put them up there in the upper echelons of a great NHL team. I mean, there's not a lot of dynasties in sports.
No.
So I mean, if you three-peat, that's quite something special. And I just want to say kudos and shout out to the Tampa Bay Lightning as they done it again. And now they will take on the Colorado Avalanche, aka the Quebec Nordiques, for Lord's Stanley's Cup.
Okay, well that was a good one. I guess how I end mine is talk about my boy Floyd Mayweather getting into the boxing Hall of Fame. You know?
Well, not just him.
Well, can we talk about Oakland's finest?
Oakland royalty.
Can we talk about Oakland's royalty when it comes to boxing?
The SOG himself, Andre Ward, gets in.
Well, it goes my brother first, then Andre Ward. Oakland's finest boxer is my brother. Nobody might not know about that, but yeah, I do. But Andre Ward, getting in there, that's amazing because what a hell of a career. But it's one fight that Andre Ward shouldn't have won. I'm sorry. I'm going down because even when they announced him that he won it, he was shocked. And he will never tell you that because nobody will when they won something well, yeah, wasn't supposed to win it. But I can't remember the fight, but when they announced Andre Ward won that fight, he was like.
Which is why when they fought again the second time, we're talking about against Sergey Kovalev. For the light heavyweight title. That's why Virgil Hunter said, we never really attempted to go for a knockout only twice. One was the fight against Chad Dawson where he just put hands on Chad Dawson.
Skibbity paps all day long.
It was that fight he wanted to finish him. And the second fight against Kovalev, he wanted to finish him. And I mean, the second fight against Kovalev did not know what hit him. He didn't know what was going on. He was just like, I'm getting my ass. This looks like the Super 6 Andre Ward.
See, this. I love why we do this show because I was going to lead up to that. I was going to say the Super 6 was boxing. I mean, hands down, what the sport was all about. I mean, you had telephone booth boxing. You had boxing in the corner. You had boxing in the middle of the ring. You had the savviness with the boxing. And that Super 6 showed okay, yeah, the boxing ain't going nowhere.
Here's the thing. You could have put Andre Ward in alone just off of what he did in the Super 6 tournament.
Yeah.
He could have retired.
Spectacular. He was spectacular.
He could have retired right there.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, take your place in the Hall of Fame right now, Andre.
I mean, the second fight, he just, like you just said, he beat the dog snot out of Cole. It wasn't even a competition. I mean, it's like he came out with a determination, like, I'm going to win this fight. I'm going to show you that I'm a dominant boxer, and you're going to just skippity paps all day.
Yeah. Because we all know Andre, like Floyd, wasn't a very big knockout person.
No, but I'm gonna hit you
now
for your 2 punches. I'm gonna hit you with 6. That's where they're thinking.
But with that said, and you and I have both have said this. People don't understand when Floyd was a flyweight and a lightweight, when he was simply pretty boy, before he started having hand problems, Floyd would knock you on your ass. And I know a lot of people don't like Floyd because of his mouth, because of his history with women. I don't condone what he did. We don't condone what he does to women. We don't.
No, not at all.
Okay. But I can separate that from what he does in the boxing ring.
Yes.
What he does in the boxing ring.
Poetry.
People say he runs. Well, it's called the sweet science for a reason.
What's the object of boxing? Not to get hit.
And not to get hit.
Hit the person, but not get hit.
Yeah.
So you mean you mad because the other person can't hit him? The greatest quote from a opponent that Floyd has, and he is one of the greatest boxers now until he just had his defeat, was Saul Cinnamon
himself.
Alvarez said, I couldn't see him. I couldn't touch him.
I couldn't catch him. I couldn't hit him. Couldn't catch him. And
by the way, Floyd was a lot older than Canelo at this time when they fought.
Yeah.
And he said literally out his mouth, I could not catch him. So you're mad because he found a perfect defense to counter an offense. Okay, so you're not hate his cockiness. I get it. He's cocky, but guess what? Most of your greats are cocky. Jordan was cocky. Floyd is cocky. Larry Bird was the most cockiest MF.
Larry Joe Bird is the greatest trash talker in the history of basketball. Where do you think Michael Jeffrey Jordan got it from? He got it from Larry Joe Bird.
So most of your greats are cocky. So my man's went 50-0.
Because out of all the great accomplishments Jordan has done, the one thing he can never do was beat Larry Bird in a playoff series. That's the only thing Michael did not do. He did not beat Larry Bird in a playoff series. Now, granted, those Celtics teams that were playing those early Michael Bulls team, obviously Boston was way completely better and had the better team, without question. But where do you think Michael got his trash talking from? He got it from Larry Bird. Yeah. I mean, you can listen to the story that Sean Kipp said many times when they first played each other. Larry Bird comes up to him and say, "Oh, you're the guy that broke all my high school records." Larry Bird torches Sean Kipp for damn near 40 points.
Watch the show on HBO.
Oh, the Lakers miniseries.
That's Larry Bird. I'm just gonna. That's Larry Bird. There's no, even though some of this stuff in the show is, but that's Larry Bird. I don't give a damn what anybody say. That he's now, corporate, but the basketball Larry Bird.
Oh, Larry, the hick from French Lick. That guy. He would tell you what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, and you're not going to stop me.
And that was in the show. They put that in there. Yeah. Cocky. So
I mean, the man literally scored all of his points with his left hand in Portland, mind you.
So, my brother, if we need to get more cocky with our show so we can get worldwide. So we need to do something.
But on that note, again, if you have any topics that you would like for us to talk about on the show, feel free to comment on the Mizzle and Dub Show page on our YouTube page to where you can watch our show. Again, share it with your friends. Share it with your friends. If you need some good laughter, need something to listen to when you're on the road, hey,
we're your people.
Pop us in and give us a listen, laugh, and enjoy the wide world of sports as we try to cover the wide world of sports because, again, we do this for y'all. We do this for y'all entertainment. And, of course, me and my brother, we love talking about sports, period.
Oh, as you see, this show was supposed to be just the post game for the Warriors, but we gave you hockey. Did we dabble in football a little bit? No, I don't think we talked about.
We haven't even talked about football yet,
and that's what we live to talk about right there. I mean, we gave you hockey, basketball. I mean, hey, we can do it all.
Now, if we really wanted to be a-holes,
Uh-oh.
we're really going to just talk about how our beloved Giants just swept the Dodgers.
We didn't even talk about the Giants. How about that? But guess what? They swept the Dodgers, as my brother said, and they beat Kansas City tonight. But more importantly, they swept the Dodgers.
And not only that, they beat their three best pitchers. Now, I know Clayton Kershaw is not what he used to be, but he's still Clayton Kershaw.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Me. Dodger fans still consider him as an ace. He's the best thing going. Giants beat him. So whatever.
Beat him.
Miss me with that.
They beat Julio Urias. They beat Walker. I wear my pants so tight. He might have pulled a hamstring. Bueller. You beat their top three pitchers, and you get to bust out the brooms.
Yeah.
But mainly, the bullpen, which is now starting to come together.
I love that Duvall. I love that.
Helped win that series because, I mean, I just go back to Saturday afternoon's game to where it just seemed like every inning the Dodgers had a threat. They had base runners, and they just stranded men on base. But I mean, even tonight against the Royals, 9 walks. That's a season high that the Royals gave them free passes, and the Giants took advantage. Which you have to take advantage when you're playing teams like the Royals, because the Royals are struggling mightily. You have to take advantage of that. But in addition to that, just to have the icing on the cake, the Giants are back in the race. They're only 3 games behind. And if anything, they just prove that we are still here and we're not going anywhere. Yeah, yes, sir.
It's June and they're playing good baseball.
You are correct. They are 7-3 in their last 10 games.
It's June.
Yes, it is
good baseball.
It is. You are correct.
They don't play good baseball in June if it's with history with the Giants. Kapler has literally just made me shut the F up when it comes to him right now. I still question sometimes when he pulls a pitcher. Should have left what's his face in on one of those games that they lost, but whatever. I still trust him. He won 107 games. What am I supposed to say to a coach that won 107 games? What do I know? I'm sitting here doing a YouTube show with my brother.
But also, can we talk about the defending World Series champions, the Atlanta Braves? Somebody break them up because they have won not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. 12 in a row.
Do you know how hard that is? Like we just said, getting the 3 Stanley Cup finals, but to win 12 straight baseball games.
And that's unfortunately losing their all-star second baseman, Ozzy Albies, to a fractured foot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He fractured his foot tonight as they won an extra innings against the Washington Nationals. But it sucked. And even despite all that, I mean, it's always exciting when the Braves and the Mets are in a independent race just because it's
good for baseball.
It's good for baseball. And I mean, they're catching up because, I mean, for a long time, the Mets had the biggest lead of any division leader in baseball, which was 8. That lead is now cut down to 5. And I mean, I knew the Mets would be a lot better under Buck Showalter because Buck Showalter is a very, very damn good manager. I still think it was a mistake that the Baltimore Orioles let him go. But
yeah.
I knew the Mets would be vastly improved. I don't think anybody had the Mets having the second best record in Major League Baseball and the overall best record in the National League. I certainly was not expecting that. But, you know, this is what happens. This is why baseball is one of the most beautiful sports that there is. But it's always good to beat LA, even better when you sweep LA.
Oh, in the Ice Cube. Today was a good day.
Yes, it was. But as my brother said, do not fret because we are getting that closer to football. And just remember, next month, it's training camp. So the need for football, the want for football is really, really nearing its door and about to rear its head in there. So trust me, there will be plenty of football shows during the season of the Mizzle and Dub Show because, like we said, football just seems to bring everybody together.
It does.
Tossing the old pigskin. But again, just to recap, Warriors again beat the Celtics 104-94 to take a 3-2 edge in the NBA Finals. Game 6 will be on Thursday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, 8 Central, 7 Mountain on your local ABC stations. And the Stanley Cup Finals between the Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning as the Lightning go for their 3rd consecutive Stanley Cup title. That'll start on the 15th on Wednesday, and that will be on ABC and ESPN Plus. And actually, we can also say that should there be a Game 7, it will be Sunday on Father's Day also on ABC, but we will see where the chips fall, where they may. But as always, we thank you for watching this edition of the Mizzle and Dub Show. Needless to say, if the Warriors do happen to clinch on Game 6, there will be a Dub Nation celebration post-game show talking about the Warriors possibly winning their 7th NBA title and their 4th under Steve Kerr. Regardless of win or lose, we'll probably do a show anyway talking about Game 6. But let's just say if there's some champagne and some confetti flowing, well, you know and understand why.
I got my tequila ready.
He has his tequila ready.
And my credit card ready.
Well, I may have to go bust out the crown for this occasion.
Oh.
Yeah, it's real in the field, yes. But nonetheless, we thank you again for watching this edition of the Mizzle and Dub Show. Another late night edition of Being in the Lab. But he is Mizzle. I am Dub. And even though my drink is empty, by God, it is still 5 o'clock some damn where. So hopefully you'll be hearing from us sometime on Thursday night after Game 6 of the NBA Finals with the Warriors up 3-2 on the Boston Celtics with a chance to clinch the Larry O'Brien Trophy on the parquet floor in the Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. And with that, we say good night, Canada.
Good night. And music brought to you by my oldest son, Zordak Samba. Peace.